On Tuesday, it was announced that Robert Mueller, the special prosecutor, would love to interview Donald Trump about the firings of Michael Flynn, his former national security advisor, and James Comey, the former director of the FBI, and that he would love to get these interviews rolling as soon as next week, if possible. Now, the Trump administration, about a week ago, responded to Mueller's request for an interview with Donald Trump by just sending written answers over to him, hoping that that would be enough. They were essentially trying to hide Trump from having to go and talk to Mueller directly. Well, that didn't work. There's nowhere left for Donald Trump to hide, and if he wants to continue on as president, at least for now, he's going to have to go talk to Mueller. And considering that reports are saying he wants to talk about the firings of Flynn and Comey, it is very likely that right now this interview would center mostly on obstruction of justice charges against Donald Trump. Here's what we know and what we still need to know about all of this. First and foremost, reports are saying that it is about the Comey and Flynn firings, and so that would lean towards obstruction of justice. A few other reports have said that it could also deal with financial dealings with Donald Trump himself, which would point the investigation in a similar, though slightly different, direction. We do not necessarily know at this time what exactly he will be questioned about, but we do know in the last few days it came out that Michael Flynn, when he interviewed with Mueller, did not let Donald Trump know that he was going to do this. Flynn has now hired a lawyer who is notorious for making plea deals and working with prosecutors to hand over evidence. So that's a plus on Mueller's side and probably a pretty scary thing for Donald Trump's side. And we also know that Donald Trump has allegedly had pressured the director of the FBI to fire Andrew McCabe and Wray. I forget which way that goes. Everything's getting a little confusing at this point, but either way, that could also potentially be obstruction of justice. So, Mueller has a lot to work with at this point. Donald Trump has nowhere left to hide. His written answers recently clearly were not sufficient for Mueller, or they opened up even more doors than Mueller thought that he had available. The bottom line is that Donald Trump is running out of room. He's running out of places to hide, and he's running out of excuses. And according to reports, even his top advisors are warning him that he could be walking right into a perjury trap with the special prosecutor because he has no idea what everybody else has told him. Again, that's how investigations work, to see if you can catch somebody in a lie. And they're terrified that Donald Trump is going to walk right into a trap set by Mueller and end up committing some kind of impeachable offense that has nothing to even do with the actual investigation and any crimes that may be uncovered there. Donald Trump may in fact commit a crime while talking to Special Prosecutor Robert Mueller. And to be honest, I think a lot of us are hoping for that. I think we want to see Donald Trump go in there, lie his ass off to a guy that can prove that he's lying, and finally get a little comeuppance in his life. Because as much as this is about protecting the office of the presidency and protecting our system of government here in the United States by removing this corrupt individual, it's also about somebody who has skirted the law for 70 years of his life. Somebody who has committed acts so disgusting and so heinous that would have landed most people in prison. Yet he continues to get away with it. Robert Mueller could be the person to finally bring justice to the Trump family. And, as a side effect, possibly save the office of the presidency from further tarnish from Donald Trump. Time will tell. Hopefully, this interview is going to take place sooner rather than later, although it could be as far as a month out, maybe even longer. Hopefully, Trump agrees to just get it over with, meets with him next week, and then we start to get some real answers and hopefully real indictments from this investigation. Thanks for watching, and if you like what you see here on Ring of Fire, we encourage you to subscribe to our channel. You can see the little subscribe button down there, but if you're watching it on another device where you can't see it, go to youtube.com/TheRingOfFire, hit subscribe, be notified every time we get a new video.